Give our praise, esteem, and honor to the Most High Yah. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, the 5th chapter of John and the 39th verse. And then 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 6, and Galatians 6 and 7. John 5:39. 1 Corinthians 13.
It says, "Search the scriptures, for any you think you have eternal life, and there they will testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Father's name, and you receive me not. If another should come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one of another and seek not the honor that
Hey,
comes
y'all don't start playing over
from
there.
Elohim only?
It's not playtime.
Do not think that I will accuse you to the Father. There is one that accuses you, even Moses, whom you trust. But you believed in Moses, you would have believed in me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my word?"
1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 6.
It says, "Love rejoices not in iniquity, but rejoices in truth. It beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, and endureth all things." Love never fails.
That's sufficient. Galatians 6 and 7.
It said, "Be not deceived, Elohim is not mocked. For whatsoever a man
Shalom.
soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth the Ruach shall of the Ruach reap everlasting life. And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not."
Read that again.
It say, "And let us be not weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not.
Go ahead.
As we have therefore opportunity, let us do good unto all men, especially to them who are of the household of faith."
Pause. So let's go to looking at what it means to do well. The Hebrew word for do well is yatab, and it means to be good, or to be glad, or to be joyful, or to do good too. So to do well is something that you're glad to do. You take joy in doing it. And of course, doing is a word, asa, and it's to do, and it's to walk, and it's to act. So the first thing we're going to look at is Genesis chapter 4 and verse 1 to show you where it's at in Hebrew as far as the context of the Hebrew word for do well, because clearly we're reading that in Greek. So it's a little different. And then we're going to look at the three men that I mentioned, Paul, Hamashiach, and Jeremiah, as far as doing well under harsh circumstances, if you will. Because, you know, another word for endurance is perseverance. Do you know what I'm saying? And in troublous times, you have to have perseverance to come out on the other side. That's why he talk about taking you through the furnace of affliction and going through the fire to come out pure on the other side. Because it takes perseverance to come through on the other side. That's probably the biggest thing that most people lack, is they lack perseverance. You lack perseverance because you don't have the fortitude to push on and continue for whatever reason. It's a multitude of factors which causes people to fall out and faint. But as we mentioned last night, you ain't got no business falling out and fainting when you understand the contradiction of sinners against himself, of which this man withstood. Knowing that that's in the law, that what he did is contrary to his own standard and code of conduct. He's not supposed to go along with sin, but he contradicted himself for the sake that individuals might live. That should cause you to have the ability and endure and not fall out, and to understand that when the endurance comes through the chastening of Yahuwah. That's when it comes, because through whatever it is that you suffer, that's how you're gonna learn to obey. Without it, you're not gonna learn to obey. Matter of fact, go ahead and roll that Genesis 4 and 1 and roll Deuteronomy 8 and 1 right behind it.
It's saying Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain and said, I have gotten a man from Yahuwah. And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was the keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in the process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto Yahuwah. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and the fat thereof. And Yahuwah had respect unto Abel and to his offering. But unto Cain and of his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell.
He was upset.
And Yahuwah said unto Cain, why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, thou shalt be accepted.
If you do what?
Thou shalt.
Shall thou not be accepted?
Right. Shall thou not be accepted?
But if you do what?
If you do well, do not well, sin lies at the door.
So pause. He told him if you do the word with joy and glad to do it, he said, wouldn't you be accepted? Like I said, that word is yatab. It's yad, tet, and bat. I give you a moment. Yad, tet, and bat. I give you a moment. Just a moment. Just a moment of your time. Yad, tet, and bat. It's what it is to do well. See, that's why a lot of people get weary, because you're not glad to do it. That goes back to what he said in Jeremiah, my word is a reproach to them. They don't take no delight in it. You're not happy about it. Doesn't make your heart happy. It's various different reasons for that. Sometimes, go ahead. Son's work will continue. Very well. Contain.
You said T.
It's tet. Work the mark of the house. No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Anybody else? Anybody else before we move on? And bye. Huh? All right. Notice that he said if you do well, you'll be accepted. That's why he told you not to fall out. You'll reap if you don't faint. You know what I'm saying? You'll be accepted. Most people fall out and faint because they just ain't willing to do enough to be accepted. You know, it's like say it was just like this here, right? And I understand her perspective, where she coming from based off her experiences and what she encountered. But a lot of people, and you done heard it before, especially like maybe on the female side, because for them they feel like it's more restrictive on what they can and can't do. You know what I'm saying? But again, it go back to what we mentioned last night. Irregardless of what you can and can't do, that is irrelevant. It's about you got more to gain than what you have to lose. When you have a mind focused on what you can't do, then you can never look at what you can do in Elohim, and there's no way you'll ever be saved. You know what I'm saying? And that's where a lot of us fault at. It's because you looking at what you got to lose instead of what you got to gain. And it ain't just with the word. You can't look at what you're going to lose. You know what I'm saying? You might not get anything if you don't do it. You're going to stay exactly where you at. So you might as well go ahead and take the risk and look at what you got to gain instead of being paralyzed by the fear of what you could lose. So what if you lose it? And what? Ain't nothing in this life permanent, no way, but death. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing permanent, so you can't worry about what you're going to lose. You're going to lose everything at some point in time. People pass, things deteriorate, houses get destroyed, cars crash, clothes don't fit you no more. It's only one thing that's permanent, and that's your God. You know what I'm saying? Nevertheless, you got something for that?
I was going to ride with that too.
You gonna ride with that? Anybody else? Well, like I said, we came with
The work of the Son of the thing.
we came with this one here is the work of the generosity and kindness of the Son. We doing well. See, when I just went in a different direction, because it's tet mean generosity, slide that out. Generosity and kindness are interchangeable. So when you see his work of kindness, the work of kindness of the Son, this is what allows you to be able to do good and to do well, only because of what we read in Hebrews chapter 12. What did it say? Look to who? The author and finisher of your faith. So that means you need to look at his kindness. Let's look at John 3 and 14 and look at and have him discuss that with us for a moment. Oh, that's the baby. Because when you look at it, excuse me, when you look at doing well, it's the kindness of the Son of what doing well is all about. And that's what we're going to look at, the things that he did and endured and didn't faint in the midst of opposition. It's hard sometimes to continue doing something in the face of opposition. But the opposition or adversity is going to be a good hallmark of how bad you want to do something. You know what I'm saying? We look at stuff and we feel like it should be easy, and then when difficulty arises, then a lot of people walk away and they don't finish what they start because it became difficult. I mean, you didn't want it bad enough because you let some, instead of, you didn't look at the obstacle as forth of, I'm gonna overcome it by going through it, going over it, or going around it, but I'm going to figure out a way to overcome that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking at, I can't do this, I can't do that because this is in the way. That's the wrong mindset to have. If Yahushua had that mindset, he wouldn't have got on the tree. He wouldn't have got up there. You know what I'm saying? You have to look, you can't look at an obstacle as a defeat. You have to look at how you can overcome it. When you hear a lot of people, I got a problem with lust, or I got a problem with this, you so focused on what your problem is and you're not focused on coming up with a way to overcome it. So because you wallow in whatever that is, you'll never be able to overcome it because you're not allowing your mind to come up with a solution to defeat that. You know what I'm saying? So this is one of the reasons why the word tells us to have his mind, because he had a mind to overcome. He didn't have a mind to be defeated. Do you remember the statement he told him when he said, nobody don't take my life, right? I lay it down and I pick it up. He didn't have no thought process of this situation of death is going to defeat me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to overcome it, and this is the way that I'm going to do it. You know what I'm saying? You have to approach everything in that way. You can't look at some things, of course, you know, hey, it is what it is. It's a dead situation. But you can't go into every obstacle and piece of adversity that you face and focus on the fact that the adversity is in your face. You have to focus on the fact of what can I do to overcome it? I got to figure something out. And in the course of the process of figuring something out, and you couldn't figure something out because it was, hey, then it is what it is. You leave it alone. But most things can be overcome depending on the situation and circumstance. Go ahead. And 14. You could make it 10. But she lying there like a nigga in the counter.
It said, Yahushua answered and said unto him, art thou a master of Yasharah?
And you don't
knowest not these things?
You don't know that?
Verily, verily, I say unto you.
What'd he say?
We speak that we do know, and testify that we have seen, and ye receive not our witness. If I have told you earthly things, and ye believe not, how shall ye believe if I tell you of heavenly things?
Sure ain't gonna believe it.
And no man have ascended up to heaven, but he that hath come down from heaven, even the Son of Man which is in heaven. And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up.
Yes, sir.
That whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
Go ahead.
It says, for Elohim so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. For Elohim sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved.
Let's ask this question. Was this man happy to go up there and die? Was he happy to go do it? Was he pleased to do it? Did he go do it with joy? Let's see if he went to go do it with joy. Let's look at Matthew chapter 26 and verse 17. Because one thing for certain, he may have prayed for the cup to pass. He didn't fall out, though. He definitely didn't fall out. And he definitely didn't speak no evil like, I don't want to do this, why I got to do this. He definitely didn't do that. Fall out. You got people who just fall out and quit. Like, I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm done. I'm weak, I'm tired, I'm finna fall out. We're going to look at faint in a moment. So several words for faint. Mainly to be faint, you weak-hearted. You become discouraged. Shoot, you seen boys in the hood. What that nigga name was? Trey fainted. Though, let me out, though. That nigga fainted.
Yeah.
Cain in Minister Society, he didn't faint. That nigga said, I ain't killing no kids. That was it. No old folks. And they say, what kids or old folks gonna be out this time of night? A lot of people faint. Shoot. Niggas who catch criminal cases and tell, nigga fainted. You folded under the pressure. There was something in your face and in your way, and versus standing up for your morals and principles of what you say you about, you folded. Ain't no honor in that. Ain't no honor in that at all. Go ahead, man. Matthew chapter 26 and verse 17.
It said, now the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Yahushua saying,
Matter of fact, pause. Start at verse 1 so he can listen what he finna tell him. He finna tell him what he done already been telling him. He finna tell him what's finna go down.
It said, and it came to pass when Yahushua had finished all these sayings, he said unto his disciples,
What he told him.
ye know that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover.
And what's gonna happen?
And the Son of Man is to be betrayed and crucified.
And betrayed to be what?
Is betrayed to be crucified.
He tell him, I'm finna die in 48 hours.
And then assembled together the chief priests and the scribes and the elders of the people unto the palace of the high priest.
I mean, that's about some business, but it ain't no money gonna hit my thing right then. I gotta put some work in. He don't keep the Sabbath, so cuz word 24/7, 365. He kept a little Christmas. Don't keep no Christmas. All them doggone Africans in my inbox. Merry Christmas. I don't keep Christmas, cuz. Why not? Because it's not of the book. Interesting. You know what I'm saying? But he was just talking about something that I always do. He was like, man, how you gonna be in business and you don't answer your phone? You know what I'm saying? I always answer my phone. I don't care if I don't know the number or not, because you don't know if it's business, and that's bad business that you do business and you don't answer your phone or you don't return phone calls. You can't be in business, you be like, I don't want to talk, I don't want to answer the phone. How that work? You miss money like that. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. I don't operate like that. I'm gonna answer my phone, let you know what's going on. I'm not gonna hit you back when I feel like it, especially somebody you doing business with and you already spoke to. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, man.
It said, and they consulted that they might take Yahushua by subtlety and kill him. Mm-hmm. But they said, not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar among the people.
That's good. Give me verse 14. Let me see what that says.
It said, then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went into the chief priests and said unto them.
Okay, you give me 17. I don't want all that.
It said, now the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Yahushua, saying unto him, well wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? Mm-hmm. And he said, go into the city to such a man, and say unto him, the master said, my time is at hand.
He said it, my master said, my what?
My time is at hand.
So that sounds like somebody that ain't happy to do it. He telling them what to do and how to get it done. He says it's time. It's time.
I will keep the Passover at the house of my disciples.
Mm-hmm.
And the disciples did as Yahushua has appointed them, and they made ready the Passover.
Made it ready.
Now when even was come, he sat down with the 12, and as they did eat, he said, verily I say unto you that one of you shall betray me. And they were exceedingly sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Master, is it I? And he answered and said, he that dippeth his hand with me in the dish is the same that shall betray me.
He gonna tell.
And the Son of Man goeth as it was written of him, but woe unto the man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born.
It sure was.
Then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I?
Pause. You know what? It was a brother yesterday. He was like, man, we need a king. All this division and separation. I say, my nigga, we already got a king. He said, well, we don't act like it. Then he was like, you see all this here? Nobody addressed the division. That showed the fruits. See, you stupid, ignorant bastard. Now, you meant well, but you so focused on the people being divided, they always gonna be divided. That's what the man told you he came to do, did he not? He said he didn't came to bring peace, he came to bring division. Y'all so focused on taking everybody who know they're Israelite and bringing them one in together and not realizing y'all may not want all these people you trying to grab. And now you shocked because these people is going against one another, and these are people who it's gonna be enmities. They could be of the serpent seed. But you looking at because they of Abraham's stock and they know they Israel, that they can't be a child of the devil. So then you trying to bring children of the devil into the house of Yahuwah, and you wondering why there's division. Of course there's going to be division. How can light and darkness exist in the same place? The just and the unjust are always be an abomination to each other. It doesn't matter anything because you know Israel and you keep Sabbaths and your heart is just destitute of righteousness, light and love and faith all together. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff when people dealing the word. They deal a whole lot of different stuff, and then they be like, oh, don't talk about that. They're going to get you. They say you keeping witchcraft. But see, the reason why that's coming is people are trying to shift in a fashion to belittle people who say, I'm going to stand for what y'all say and not what the group say. Because at the end of the day, and I done told y'all this consistently, people want you to compromise. You know what I'm saying? To fit in. You can't compromise to fit in. You can't compromise to keep the peace, so to speak. I stand on what I stand on, and it is what it is. You don't have to bash them across the head with it, but I stand for what I stand for and take it how you want. You know what I'm saying? Oh, ain't nothing wrong with chakras. It sure ain't. You roll with it. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? See, you don't know what magic or witchcraft is. I sure don't. You can rock with it. I'm good. Hold that down. You know what I'm saying? When you say that, they take that as an attack on them. So clearly something in your spirit and in your mind and in your heart is telling you that you're wrong. Because if you was confident and secure in what you were doing, you wouldn't care if I went along with it or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about if I didn't come for you and say you wizard, you witch, you warlock. You understand what I'm saying? If I didn't come for you, you wouldn't care. You'd keep on messing with your crystals and your chakras and your new mooning and your parasite cleanse and everything else you got going on. You wouldn't care. You know what I'm saying? So clearly you know you're wrong, and what you're trying to do is you're trying to use manipulation and intimidation tactics for me to compromise what I stand for. And I will not, because I don't care if you like me. You know what I'm saying? See, most brews walk and see other brews, and they're concerned if these people will accept them. I don't care if you accept me or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not coming in here not to be accepted, but I will not feel any worse about myself if you don't. It's just not any of my concern. And I felt like that without the word. I don't care if you like me. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? You like it. Once you concerned with people liking you, that means you need validation from other people. I don't need validation from anyone, family, friends, or strangers. I don't need validation from anyone. I'm secure with who I am. And if you in a Mashiach, you should be secure. Notice I'm saying secure so that ooh should be in the way, and then that you should be secure in who you are. You know what I'm saying? You should be comfortable with who you are. Period. Irregardless of who it is. The minute you seek self-validation from outside your God, you have a problem. You have a major problem. And that problem is y'all will never be able to validate you because you'll always, that's why, what did he say? They sought the praise of men more than praise of Elohim. You'll never be able to seek the honor and praise that come from Yah only because you'll always be looking for it in the person. And that's not, you can't, that's going to cause you to lose your life. It's not what you want.
Yes.
Oh, that must be Cali because that's definitely not Kira's voice. Go ahead.
That's Cali. My thing.
Go ahead, Mike.
We have 47, right?
No, I don't think he was at 47. He was number about 26.
25. It said, then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? And he said unto him, Thou hast said. And as they were eating, Yahushua took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to the disciples and said, Take, eat, this is my body. And he took up the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, Drink ye all of it. For this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. But I said to you, I will not drink henceforth of the fruit of the vine until the day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. And when they had sung the hymn, they went out.
When they what? When they did what?
Sung the hymn.
When they did what?
Sung a hymn.
When you sing a hymn, what you usually singing for? Little joy, huh? Little joy make you happy in your soul.
It said they went out.
Hold on, that's good. I don't need. That's all I wanted. I want you to come over here with Psalms 150. Because if you're singing a hymn, what you actually doing by definition? You doing what?
Give yourself a bit.
You praising. Nah, you ain't doing no supplication, you singing no hymn. You do supplications when you're praying. You singing a hymn, you singing a word of praise. Psalms 150. I'm going to start looking at some of this stuff about faith. After Psalms 150, Proverbs 24 and 10. Yeah, I get to it in a minute. It might be a while. Hey, Mari, lay down. Don't let Eugene get you in trouble. Psalms 150 and 1.
It said, praise ye Yahuwah, praise Elohim in the sanctuary, praise him in the firmament of his power.
Paul, so do what now?
It said, praise him for his mighty acts.
Uh-huh.
And praise him according to his excellent greatness.
Uh-huh.
Praise him with the sound of the trumpet.
Mm-hmm.
Praise him with the psaltery and harp.
Mm-hmm.
Praise him with the timbrel and dance.
Mm-hmm.
And praise him with the string instruments and organs. Praise him upon the loud cymbals and praise him upon the high sounding cymbals.
Mm-hmm.
Let everything that have breath praise Yahuwah. Hallelujah.
Let's go to Hebrews 2 and 9 and back that up, what they were doing. And what we see was actually mentioned in Psalms 40. Hebrews 2 and 9. Going back and doing what you were doing, which is laying down.
It says, but we see Yahushua who has made us a little lower than the angels or the Malachim for the suffering of death, crowned with esteem and honor, that he, by the grace of Elohim, should taste death for every man. Mm-hmm. For it became him for whom all things, and by whom all things, and bringing many sons into esteem, to make the captain of the salvation perfect through suffering.
Uh-huh.
For both he that is sanctified, or he that sanctifies, and they who are sanctified are of one. For which cause he is not ashamed to call them brethren.
Go ahead.
Saying, I will declare thy name unto my brother.
He'll do what?
I will declare thy name unto my brother.
And what else?
In the midst of the assembly will I sing praise unto thee.
So that's what they were doing. You sing praise because of joy. You don't praise Yahuwah because you not glad to do what this man's sending you to do. He just sat back and told them he was finna die, and he sung a hymn with them. So let's take a look at Proverbs 24 and 10. Proverbs 24 and 10.
It say, if thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small.
If you do what?
If you faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small.
Now you look at faint, the word is rafah, and it's to be disheartened. You have a rosh, a pay, and a hay. I'll give you a time. Give you a moment. It's a rosh, pay, and a hay. Rafah means to be disheartened. Another word for disheartened is to be discouraged. So it also means to sink down or to let drop. So if you let your faith drop in the day of adversity, then your faith is small.
You said Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah, when you look at what's in Matthew 24 and he talk about all the level of adversity that's going to come, that's why he ended with, and he that endures to the end, the same shall be saved, because you can't get weary in well-doing because of all the things that you might suffer. You got to continue to reap to your ruach, or sow to your ruach that you might reap the ruach. You can't worry about your flesh. See, we be worrying about the wrong things. Go ahead. Anybody got anything for that? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Was for this word here. This Raj paying the haters. Anybody got anything for that? Huh? The what are the highest? The interest, you say? Anybody else want to take a roll at that before we proceed? Well, go ahead, children.
Positive reveal.
Because he's telling you that if you be discouraged in the day of your adversity, your faith is small. So you have to look at that and think about it in the context of what's being said and the characters that are presented, what you ought to do.
I would say the word we use to pay, the word for pay. The word will reveal you to the highest. Yeah, or your thoughts will reveal you. Well, the word will reveal your thoughts.
Anybody else? Going once, twice. So what I would pull for this here is simply just look at the words of the highest. What have we been talking about since Wednesday? Look at who. And he is the what? The word made flesh. So if you about to faint, and what did it say in Hebrews 12? To look to him in case you be about to do what? Be wearied and do what? Faint in your mind. So when you feel that you about to faint in a day of adversity, then you need to be looking at Yahuwah. Which is why I told you last night. You could go talk to somebody else, but you need to go to Yah first. Come over here to Jeremiah 20. Let's look at a man who did exactly that in the day of his adversity. Jeremiah chapter 20. Jeremiah 20 and 7. Is anybody aware of some of the things that Jeremiah suffered? Yeah, they put him in prison twice.
They put their hands on him too.
No, they can't close. They wanted to. They definitely threatened to kill him. He definitely told him, if you do something to me, do what you seen good in your eyesight. But just know you're going to have innocent blood on your hand when you do it. Just know that. Jeremiah 20 and 7.
It says, "Oh, Yah, thou hast deceived me, and I was deceived.
He said he had been deceived. What else he say?
Thou art stronger than I, and hast prevailed. I am in derision daily, everyone mocked me."
So I'm in derision. Derision means to ridicule. So he was being redundant. Everybody mocked me. He said, what?
"For since I spake, I cried out. I cried violence and spoil, because the word of Yahuwah was made a reproach unto me, and a derision daily."
Who know what he mean when he say that? Since I spake, I cried out. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I mean, that's what he was doing. But when he talking about crying violence and spoil, he was talking about the violence and spoil that was going to happen to them. That's one of the reasons why they locked him up, because he said that the temple would be destroyed. He told them Jerusalem was going to be destroyed, and they wanted to kill him for it. They said, how you speak against this place? Who you think you are? And that goes back to what we'll be discussing. Like, you know what that is? That's accountability. And when they were being held accountable, they wanted to kill him for it. Because people don't like to be held accountable. Because when you hold somebody accountable, you're flashing a mirror on their behavior. And when you flash that mirror on their behavior, they have to see the things about themselves that they do not like or need to improve. And people don't care for that. Because they take it personal. They don't take it as a challenge of elevation. They take it as a personal shot. It's not a personal shot if the individual who's doing it actually cares about your ascension, so to speak, your elevation, if you will. It's only a negative thing if someone is saying that without an effective plan for you to actually fix what's wrong. See, that's the difference between somebody ridiculing you and giving you constructive criticism, because they give you a solution to whatever they're saying you're not doing correctly. See, it's easy to say somebody's doing something wrong, but then not tell them how they can be better. You might as well keep it to yourself if you're not going to offer an avenue for them to be better. Just keep it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to go better if you keep it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can tell somebody and give them a solution how they be better, and they still may not want to hear it. But nevertheless, you said what you had to say, you went about your business. You know what I'm saying? But most people point stuff out for the purpose of ridiculing and destroying another person. And also, we also live in a generation of mentally and emotionally weak people who take anything that is considered to be criticism or negative spoken against them very, very personally. And it seems to cripple their ability to do anything because they feel entitled and that everyone's supposed to coddle them and pat them on their head and tell them how great they are. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's just not how life works. Go ahead.
It said the words of Jeremiah, the son of Hilkiah, of the priest that were in Anathoth in the land of Benjamin, to whom the word of Yahuwah came in the days of Josiah, the son of Ammon, the king of Yehuda, in the 13th year of his reign. It came also in the day of Jehoiakim, the son of Joash, king of Yehuda, and unto the ends of the 11th year of Zedekiah, the son of Josiah, king of Yehuda, unto the carrying away of Jerusalem captive in the 5th month. Then the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee.
Before I did what?
Before thee in the belly, I knew thee.
What else?
And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee.
He did what?
Sanctified thee.
He did what?
Sanctified thee.
He set him apart.
And I ordained thee a prophet.
I appointed him.
Appointed thee, ordained thee a prophet.
That's what I'm saying. He appointed him. I chose you to be this. I chose you to do this. Go ahead.
It said, then said Yahuwah Elohim, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child.
What he told him.
But Yahuwah said unto me, say not, I am a child, for thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee, and whatsoever I command thee, thou shalt speak.
Whatever I tell you to say, say it. Do y'all know what he told Ezekiel when he told Ezekiel to go speak the word to the people? Y'all know what he told him? He told him, don't fear them people because of the faces that they made. You know what I'm saying? Don't be worried about what they say they gonna do to you or none of that. Focus on me. Come on back to Jeremiah 20 and 8. Read again for him. Jeremiah 20 and 8. Huh?
It said, for since I spake, I cried out. I cried violence and spoil, because the word of Yahuwah was made a reproach unto me and a derision daily.
So the word was made a reproach. So what does he mean the word was made a reproach to him?
He made him unfavorable to the people.
What does reproach mean?
Scorn.
Dishonor. So because I'm speaking the word, people feel like they can dishonor me. Let's take a look at a Mashiach in that area. Let's take a look at Luke chapter 6. No, I don't want Luke 6. Give me what do I want? I had something for that. I don't know where it's at. There we go. Actually, give me just give me Luke 13, man. Let me see what that's at, man. I have something else, but that ain't what I want. Matter of fact, don't even make it that. Make it John chapter 7. Yeah, John chapter 7. Make it John chapter 7. You can start at verse 1 if you will.
It said, after these things, Yahushua walked in Galilee, for he would not walk in Jewry, because the Yahudim sought to kill him. Now the Yahudim feast of tabernacle was at hand. His brethren therefore said unto him, depart hence and go into Yehuda, that is, that thy disciples also may see the works that thou doest. For there is no man that doeth anything in secret, and he himself seeketh to be known openly. If thou do these things, show thyself to the world.
For neither
Did his brethren believe in him?
what did Yahushua say?
My time is not yet come, but your time is always ready.
And the world?
Cannot hate you, but it hated, but me it hated, because I testified that the works thereof are evil.
So he letting you know that he doing the same thing Jeremiah was doing. You got to remember, who are the people that they said they thought he was? When he asked his apostles who the people said they was, who did they mention? And who else? They mentioned somebody else by name. Jeremiah. Why would they mention Jeremiah? Because he was coming, warning and telling them of the destruction of Jerusalem and what was going to happen to them. And he ended up suffering the same things. He was ridiculed. You could take another instance of him being ridiculed when he went to resurrect that little girl from the dead. They mocked him when he came in there and said he was going to do that. Oh, she's asleep. And they said they laughed him to scorn. They ridiculed him. You know what I'm saying? So when you come in with that word, people will reproach you. They will disrespect you. They will dishonor you. But it's not you who they dishonoring. Because remember, he said, he that despiseth don't despise man, he despise Elohim. They really hate Yah. But you got to be able to endure and to take that. It's not too many people can take what he just said. He said, don't even get upset. He said, the world can't hate you. It's me it hate. They got a problem with me. They don't got a problem with you. So you shouldn't take this stuff personally if people come at you because of the word, because their problem is not with you. They got a problem with your God and who you represent. Continue.
It says, go ye up unto this feast, and go not up. I go not up yet, for my time is not yet full come.
Go ahead.
When he had said these words unto them, he abode still in Galilee. But when his brethren were gone up, then went he also unto the feast, not openly, but as it were in secret.
Uh-huh.
Then the Yahudim sought him at the feast and said, where is he?
Where he at?
And there was much murmuring among the people concerning him, for some said he is a good man, others said nay, but he deceived the people.
So there was a what? There was a little division because of him. You see the same thing what I was talking about earlier? You want everybody to come together, but they were divided by him when he was in the flesh. Say he's a good man. Oh, he lied. But look how they tried him in verse 14.
It says, now by the midst of the feast, Yahushua went up into the temple and taught, and the Yahudim marveled, saying, how knoweth this man letters, having never learned?
And what did he say?
And Yahushua answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine, but it is his that sent me.
And what did he say after that?
If any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine, whether it be good, or whether it be of Elohim, or whether I speak of myself.
What else?
He that speaketh of himself seeketh his own esteem, but he that seeketh his esteem, him that seeketh his esteem that sent him, the same is true, and no unrighteousness is in him.
What did he say after that?
Did not Moses give you the Torah, and yet none of you keep the Torah?
Why?
Go ye about to kill me?
The people answered and said,
Thou hast a devil who goeth about to kill thee.
Yahushua answered,
I have done one work, and ye all marvel.
Moses.
Moses therefore gave you circumcision, not because it is of Moses, but of the fathers, and ye on the Shabbat day circumcise a man. If a man on the Shabbat day receives circumcision that the law of Moses should not be broken, are ye angry at me because I have made a man every whit whole on the Shabbat? Judge not according to appearance, but judge with righteous judgment.
Well, look at verse 25. Look what it say.
It said, then said some of them of Yerushalayim, is not this he whom they seek to kill?
Now, what they want to kill him for? Why they want to kill him? Just because of what he's doing and what he's speaking, that's why they want to kill him. They want to kill this man for healing somebody on the Shabbat and for showing up for tabernacles. They didn't want him to show up for tabernacles because they just were so delighted that hope that he would be there. They were looking for a reason to have something to say against him that they might be able to kill him. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. But when he went, they say, how you know letters? Ain't nobody never taught you. I just seen a chick the other day just ask that, talking about were women allowed to read the Bible during that time. I'm like, baby, everybody was commanded to read it. See, they took that instance talking about only the aristocracy knew the word. Yeah, if them niggas was wicked, y'all ain't never said women can't read. Y'all ever read anywhere we said women can't read? He told everybody to read, didn't he? Men and women. Now, she was asking that from the aspect of culturally, of other cultures that didn't allow their women to read. You know, there was a lot of cultures in ancient times, they did not allow women to read. You know what I'm saying? Like, basically a woman's whole duty in life was to have children and that was it. You know what I'm saying? That's why you had that's why you have a feminist movement in America now. That's why you have such a big issue in America with defined gender roles. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why you have people say to get offended if you say a woman should do this and a man should do that. And you know, that's why you have a lot of feminine men and masculine women. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of homosexuals and transgenders. You know what I'm saying? Because you're being told to do something contrary to the nature of what you were created to do. You know what I'm saying? Nevertheless, let's go back to Jeremiah 20. We in verse 9. Sucks for you, John Wall. Sucks for you. Nah, that junk just said it's planning on having a season-ending surgery on his heel. I'm gonna quit for the year, collect my check. Verse 9, Jeremiah 20.
Then I said, I would not make mention of him, nor speak any more in his name, but his word was in my heart as a burning fire shut up in my bones, and I was weary with forbearing, and I could not stay.
So he say for the derision and the reproach, he was finna stop preaching. He was finna stop prophesying, I should say, and not preach. He was finna stop. He couldn't take it no more. But the word was so powerful in him, he couldn't keep his mouth closed. Listen to what verse 10 say.
It say, then shalt thou break the bottle in the sight of the men that go with
I don't know what you reading.
I'm sorry, I'm in 19. It say, for I heard the defaming of many, fear on every side, report, say they, and we will report it. All my familiars watch for my halting, saying, peradventure he will be enticed, and we shall prevail against him, and we shall take our revenge on him.
What that sound like to y'all? Because it's dealing with endurance and not being weary and well-doing. What is Jeremiah saying gonna happen to him?
He gonna get weary and be enticed. He's gonna go against his mission.
What it says is, what you actually hearing is they're looking for an instance to accuse the man so they can kill him.
Right.
Now let's look at the nasty scribes and Pharisees doing that very same thing. And let's pick ourselves up to, let's go to Matthew 17 and 20, if you will. And when you look at this here, did Jeremiah ever fall out? They locked Jeremiah up. Jeremiah was locked up when Nebuchadnezzar came. They thought it was a game. Nebuchadnezzar came nevertheless, but he was locked up when he came. We'll make that 24, 17 and 24. Matthew 17 and 24.
It said, when they would come to Capernaum, they that received tribute money came to Peter and said, does not your master pay tribute? Mm-hmm. And he said, yes. And when he was coming to the house, Yahushua prevented him, saying, what thinkest thou, Simon? Of whom do the kings of the earth take custom or tribute? Of their own children or of strangers?
Now, why you think they would ask Peter this question? When you say that he might be enticed, if you're enticing somebody, what you trying to entice them with? You're trying to entice them with sin. You're trying to entice them with you. In order to accuse somebody to take revenge on them, you have to have a sin on them to be able to do it. So they were trying to entice them by saying, "Nah, we don't pay tribute." Oh, we got it. Go ahead.
It said, Peter said unto him, of strangers, Yahushua said unto him, then are the children free. Notwithstanding, lest we should offend them, go thou to the sea, cast the hook, and take up a fish that cometh, the first fish that cometh, the fish that cometh first cometh up. And when thou hast opened up his mouth, thou shalt find a piece of money, take it and give it unto them for me and thee.
So he didn't do what they thought he was going to do. Let's look at Matthew 19 in another instance of where they tempted him. And you got to remember, right, you can't never faint in the midst of well-doing because you face an opposition or people tempting you, because they coming to tempt the man. And remember, you got to endure temptation. They coming to tempt the man. Let's see what they tempt him with here. Matthew 19:1.
It says, and it came to pass that when Yahushua had finished these sayings, he departed from Galilee and came unto the coast of Yehuda beyond the Jordan. And a great multitude followed him, and he healed them there. The Pharisees also came unto him, tempted him.
They did what?
Unto him, tempted.
So pause. If they tempted him, they already know the answer to this question, correct? They already know the answer to the question. So if they already know the answer to the question, what's the purpose of them tempting him? To try to see if he'll speak against the law. That's what they're trying to get him to do. They go against the word. I remember a long time ago, dude, I know he an atheist too. I was shocked because I didn't know black atheists exist at the time. It was like 5-6 years ago. You know what I'm saying? The nigga was like, what type of God would allow a bear to eat children? I say, check this out, homie. I say, I know what you're trying to do, and I ain't going for it. I say, if y'all see fit for all them little bastards to get ate by a bear, then let them be eaten. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, what you mean? Because you want me to say that y'all's wrong. That's what you're trying to do. See, I already know what you're trying to do before you do it. Because if I say, yeah, that ain't right, why would he have them kids get ate by a bear? You know what I'm saying? People do stuff like this. Because then once you do that, they can have their revenge. They can take out or whatever they want to take out on you, because they're trying to entice you and tempt you, and you don't even have enough spiritual wisdom to understand and know what somebody doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already know what you're doing before you do it, so I already know how I'm going to answer you. You who is righteous in all his doings. So you mean to tell me you cool with a God that allowed children to be ate by a bear? What about them children cursing and disrespecting a man of Elohim? When in actuality and reality they were cursing Yahuwah. They brought that bear on themselves. I have no qualms with it, no problems with it, nor will speak against it. And if it was a group of bastard children standing right here now, and they went to doing it, and he called for a bear to eat 70 of them, may they all be eaten and chewed gracefully. Period. That's how I see it. I don't see it no other way. You know what I'm saying? If that's his will, let it be accomplished. I could care less who's offended and who don't like it. Who am I to speak against Elohim? You know, if somebody say, oh, you indoctrinated, call it what you want. You ruled by a book. Say it however you feel, man. It's however you feel, baby. It ain't gonna change my mind now, I bet. And you ain't got to believe it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to believe it. I don't care. Come on with it, man. Read verse 3 again for him.
It says, the Pharisees also came unto him, tempted him, and saying unto him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause? And he answered and said unto him, have ye not read that he was have you not read that he was
well, we good, because we done went over that. You know what he told him. A brother I know today, they dealing with that. It's putting away divorce. I'll ask y'all that question. Is putting away divorce? Is getting a divorce or putting a woman away, are they the same thing or are they two different things? And if they're two different things, how so? You say they two different things? How are they two different things?
Divorce is like, I ain't dealing with you no more. Putting away is like, make you be more see more time after that.
Very well. Would anybody else like to answer that question? Are they the same thing or are they two separate things? And if they're two separate things, then how so? You feel like they're the same thing? Well, anybody else? You got an answer for that?
I thought putting away was more so in regards to like when they find the uncleanness in them, like when you first get married versus divorce, we're gonna be separated.
So you looking at putting away as separation?
Yeah.
That's what you looking at? Anybody else got an answer for that? You got,
Yes, sir. Yes, you can put that in.
separation by definition is not a divorce because you didn't have a bill of divorcement. So you could like step away from them, but in Hebrew, they exactly the same. The word for put away is the same exact word for divorce in a couple locations. So when you put a woman away, you divorced her. You know what I'm saying? They are exactly the same thing. They're not different. You know what I'm saying? They might appear to be different. That's why they came and say put away her wife for every cause, because they speak about divorce. You know what I'm saying? And they were trying to tempt him. They were trying to find a way that we could get him. And what they were trying to do was to get him to speak against the law, because they know that that's a killable offense. How do we know that? Leviticus 24:5. Leviticus 24:5.
It says, and thou shalt take a fine flour and bake 12 cakes thereof.
We'll make it verse 10 then. I was too high.
It says, and the son
There we go.
of an Israelitish woman whose father is an Egyptian went out among the children of Yasharal, and this son of the Israelitish woman and the man of Yasharal strove together in the camp. And the Israelitish woman's son blasphemed in the name of Yahuwah and cursed, and they brought him unto Moses, and his mother's
Let me ask
name was
y'all a question.
Shelomith.
If you speak against the word or you speak against the word, are you blaspheming? Are you blaspheming? Okay, continue. Because I want you to see the judgment for blasphemy. Continue.
It say, and they brought him and his Moses, and his mother's name was Shelomith, the daughter of Debir, or Debri, of the tribe of Dan. And they put him in the war that was in the midst of Yahuwah, that the mind of Yahuwah might be shown them.
So they might know his thoughts on what he want them to do.
And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, bring forth him that have cursed without the camp, and let all that heard him lay their hands upon him, and let all the congregation stone him. And thou shalt speak unto the children of Yasharal, saying, whosoever curses his Elohim shall bear his sin. And he that blasphemes the name of Yahuwah, he shall surely be put to death, and all the congregation shall certainly stone him, as well as the stranger, as he that was born in the land. When he blasphemes the name of Yahuwah, shall be put to death.
That's why they trying to catch him in his talk. That's why they're trying to catch him in his talk. That's why he said entice. They like, you gotta look at it like this here. He ain't one of us. So what, they gonna entice him with a woman? Come get you some sex. I got this nice little woman over here. You know what I'm saying? I gotta try to catch you to go against the word, because you out here preaching and teaching the people. So I gotta get you to go against the word. They knew what they were doing. They doctors of the law. They know the law. They know it. So they know what they're doing. And that's what they would come to Jeremiah with. They trying to entice him. Get him to say this, get him to say that. So we can have a reason to say, oh, we got it. We got it. That's evil. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's evil. It's very, very evil. Let's go to Matthew chapter 22 and verse 41. Make it 34. But they got that thing bumping in here, ain't a man.
You don't get cold.
Nah, my feet cold. My upper body ain't cold, but my feet definitely cold. And yeah, once you lose. The only reason probably ain't cold because he wallet's tied up tight. All your heat go out your head and your feet. That's why they tell you put the good wool socks on. They'll put you some wool socks on. I ain't never put no wool socks on. Matthew chapter 22 and verse 34.
It says, but when the Pharisees had heard that he had put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempted him, and saying,
So hold
Master,
on, he asked him what? He tempted him, so he trying to entice him. Now he's a lawyer, so what does that mean? He know the law, so he already know. Let me ask y'all a question. Y'all ever tempted anybody to do something in your lifetime? Or tempted somebody to say something? Did you full well already know the answer or the outcome of what you were tempting them with before you did it? So you knew he knew the answer for this before he did it. That show you how evil an individual is. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. Go ahead.
it said, Master, which is the greatest commandment in the Torah?
Now what kind of question is that? What kind of question is that? What you thought he was gonna say? Oh, the greatest commandment is listen to me, nigga. But look what he tell him.
It said, Thou shalt love Yahuwah thy Elohim with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like unto it, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commands hang the whole Torah and the prophets.
Shut them niggas up. But he taking a step further. Now Yahushua come back and say, well, check this out, my nigga. And hit him with this here. Go ahead.
While the Pharisees were gathered together, Yahushua asked them, saying, What think ye of Mashiach? Whose son is he? They said unto him, the son of David. He said unto them, How then does David in spirit call him master, saying, Yahuwah said unto my master, Sit on thy right hand until I make thy enemies thy footstool. If then David called him master, how is he his son?
And no man.
And no man was able to answer him a word, neither does any man from that day forth ask him any more.
Now this is right before he get ready to get killed. That's why they didn't ask him no more questions. Because he made him look stupid. You know what I'm saying? Because you steady trying me, and he killing them with answers. Come over here to Luke 13 and look at another thing they were doing. Now this is after he dropped, this is Luke 11, my apologies. This is after he dropped a little bit of word on it. You can pick it up in verse 49. Luke 11 and 49.
It said, Therefore also said the wisdom of Elohim, I will send them prophets and apostles, and some of them they shall slay and persecute.
So you got to be able to endure, because Yahushua telling you, I'm going to send, he going to send prophets and apostles, and y'all going to kill them and persecute them. You going to kill them. That's what I told the brother before, man. You niggas so worried about divisions, and the people who divided are the ones who the word say got to persecute you. You're trying to stop the word from happening. Can't be that stupid. Let the word be accomplished. If that's what's going to happen, let it happen. You can't stop it. You can't change it. I keep hearing dudes say, y'all ain't gonna come back and get us from this captivity till we get right. Okay. Y'all keep believing that. That man coming back when he ready. When everything is complete. I seen a few people, they thinking next year is the year. Everything going down. Gonna be sadly disappointed. Sadly disappointed. And it's gonna be a lot more people walk away from y'all after that. When we get about this time next year, most high willing we alive, and ain't nothing popped off. No second Exodus, no nothing. I'm telling you, bro, I keep seeing niggas, that's second Exodus, that's second Exodus. Y'all niggas, y'all skim through the word. Like when I asked y'all, like, if you say you like an artist, do you actually listen to his catalog of music, or are you skimming through it? Because if you listen to the catalog of music, you know their story. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we do with the word. We skim through it, so we don't really know the story. So people take bits and pieces of it, and you think you can clue it in all together. And that's not how that goes down. That's not how that goes down. This man told us how it's going down. You think we just gonna pack up and leave? Nah, nigga. You gonna be here in 2020. And probably 2021. And 2022. More than likely. You know what I'm saying? They looking at this junk with the government shut down and the border wall. It's coming to an end. Wait for it. That ain't how you told. That's not how he told you it was going in. I done told you. When you see them two witnesses, it's time. Till you see them, ain't nothing popping. Ain't nothing popping. Them two witnesses, it's time. It's finna go down. You know what I'm saying? It's finna go down. This man finna cause pure and unadulterated wrath on these people before he come back. I'm talking about Yah. And then the beast show up. You understand that? Y'all read that, right? He gonna drop the vials open. You know what I'm talking about? Then the two witnesses come. Then the beast come. That's what he said. Ain't that what he said? That's how it goes down. You just start packing up leaving. But guess what? You got to choose Yahushua in that time. That's what's got to go down. You got to choose him. See, that's what ain't nobody talking about. Because, see, that don't sound good. We getting liberated. Oh, no, we going to see who stand for the Lord or not. Who willing to endure suffering? Didn't we read last night? Those who went through tribulation. And their robes were washed by the blood of the Lamb. So you gotta go through something. How you expect to be delivered and the man who delivered you went through tribulation and you ain't going through nothing? How that's gonna work? Wasn't he purified by blood? They put him in, what type of outfit did they put him in? No, when they killed him, what type of outfit was he in? They put him in that grave that man had on a white linen outfit. That's what Joseph of Arimathea put him in, right? A white linen outfit. And when Peter them came to the grave, what was that outfit covered in? And it was covered with what? Blood. And when he resurrected, he had on what? A white garment, washed. He was pure at that point. So you got to go through the same thing. That's how it works, that's how it goes. It ain't going no other way. You know what I'm saying? It's not going no other way. It's not going no other way. And that's what everybody want to avoid. And they want you to be looking for a governmental entity persecuting you because you're an Israelite and not a nation of people, your nation first and foremost, persecuting you because of the word. Because you keep Elohim's commandments and you profess the faith of Yahushua HaMashiach. That's what they're not telling you. People are going to be very ill prepared at that time. Luke, continue on. You can read verse 49 again.
It says, therefore also said the wisdom of Elohim, I will send them prophets and apostles, and some of them they shall slay and persecute, that the blood of all the prophets which was shed from the foundation of the world may be required of this generation. From the blood of Abel and unto the blood of Zacharias, which perished between the altar and the temple.
Yes, sir.
Verily I say unto you, it shall be more required of this generation.
Go ahead.
Woe unto you, lawyers, for you have taken away the key of knowledge. You enter not in yourselves, and them that were entered in ye hindered. And as he said these things unto them, the scribes and Pharisees began to urge him vehemently, and to provoke him to speak of many things.
Why?
Laying wait for him and seeking to catch something out of his mouth that they might accuse him.
And that's what it said in Jeremiah. Did he ever grow weary of doing what he was coming to do? Did he ever get tired of it? Did he ever faint? Did he ever get discouraged? In the day of adversity, did his strength get small? Absolutely not. That's not what happened. That's not what occurred. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at the same thing. You're going to face opposition. If you live godly, you're going to suffer persecution. You're going to face opposition. What are you going to do when the opposition comes? You're going to fold. You're going to fall out. You're going to cry about it. 2 Timothy 1 and 3.
It says, I thank Elohim who I serve from my forefathers with a pure conscience, that without ceasing I have remembrance of thee in my prayers night and day, greatly desiring to see thee, being mindful of thy tears, that I may be filled with joy.
Yes, sir.
When I call to remember the unfeigned faith that is in thee, which dwelleth first in thy grandmother Lois and thy mother Eunice, and I am persuaded that in thee also.
Yes, sir.
Wherefore I put thee in remembrance, that thou stir up the gift of Elohim, which is thee, by putting off of my hands. For Elohim have not given us the ruach of fear, but of power, and of love and a sound mind.
Let me ask y'all a question. If you got a faint heart, wouldn't you say you being a little fearful? That would be an accurate assessment, would it not? If you got a weak heart, if you weary, you fearful, you scared. You know what I'm saying? Perfect love cast out fear, because fear got torment. What you scared for? That's why he said your faith small. That's why you falling out, because you scared. During the time of Goliath, them people were scared. They were scared. David wasn't scared. When Yahushua got time to get crucified, you ain't see him fall out. Oh, they gonna kill me. Get John 18:1. Show him how much a soldier he was. Get John 18:1. I gotta try to use my words sparingly because that nigga finna tap out. Oh, I gotta talk out of lower tone. Ain't gonna stop me from slamming no bars later though, I bet you that. I don't know nothing about no Saracen. I don't know nothing about all that.
Yeah, boy. Matter of fact, it is what you need, a little Saracen.
If I need Saracen, I might morph into something I don't want to be.
Just some hot rock.
I don't want no hot rocks. Next thing you know, you be stealing TVs and VCRs. And these don't even use VCRs no more.
Gotta get you some tail.
Yeah, around here, hot rocks, you're gonna be like your buddy. Mama, I'm hot.
Right, bro.
I'd rather be 400 degrees.
Right, man.
I don't want to be 98 degrees. You might finna die. You gotta be
That ain't even
98.6.
a fever, dude.
You don't want your body temperature to be too low.
That ain't even a fever.
You're gonna die.
18:1.
You're gonna die. You want your body to 98.6. That's what you want. 98.6. No 99, cool. Get to 100. Ain't that's wild that a fever ain't really but like a temperature or two above the normal body temperature?
Yeah. The body is well-tuned machine.
Well, too, it don't take much to throw them off balance. Don't take much to throw them off balance.
It said, you said 18:1?
Yes, sir. John
It said-
18:1.
It said, when Yahushua had spoken these words, he went forth to his disciples over the brook of Kidron, where it said there was a garden, into which he entered into his disciples. Also Judas also would betray him, knew the place, for Yahushua oftentimes resorted thither with his disciples.
He like to hang out there.
Judas then, having received a band of men and officers from the chief priests and Pharisees, coming thither with lanterns, torches, and with weapons.
You know what the average nigga would have did when they done seen all that? Fell out. Oh, they finna kill me. I'm scared.
You knew his time was coming, bro.
You know it's time, but I'm scared. They got lanterns. You see that nigga? They got lanterns. Shoot. Better suck it up, my nigga. Shoot. Gotta go sometime. That's how niggas be when them crackers come knocking, when the fan kick in the door. Oh, I'm going to jail. Don't get scared now, nigga. Left a wet spot in your bed because you've been crying and sweating. It's time to go. It's time to go. Come on, man.
It says, Yahushua therefore knowing all things that should come upon him, went forth and said unto him, whom ye seek, or whom seek ye? They answered him, Yahushua of Nazareth. Yahushua said unto them, I am he.
He said he was who? So what did he say?
I am he.
Hold on, one more time out. He said, that's that nigga over there. What did he say?
I am he.
So he wasn't scared, was he?
And Judas also, which betrayed him, stood with him. As soon then as he had said unto them, I am he, they went backward and fell to the ground.
Fell on the ground. Come on.
Then asked he them again, whom seek ye? And they said, Yahushua of Nazareth.
And what? Who asking? Who they looking for?
Who seek ye?
No, I'm saying who is asking? Who are y'all looking for? No, I'm talking about right now. He asking them who they
Y'all
looking
for
for.
me, pretty much. Y'all looking
He said, who y'all looking for? Yahushua Nazareth. What nigga that mean? What you want?
He said, whom seek ye? And they said, Yahushua of Nazareth. Yahushua answered, I have told you that I am he.
Huh? What he told?
I am he.
Come on.
Therefore you seek me.
Read that again. Listen
Let
to
these go their way.
No, read again. Tell him again. Read again. Tell him again. Listen what he say.
Yahushua answered, wait, here you go. 7. It said, then asked he them again, whom seek ye?
Who you looking for?
And they said, Yahushua of Nazareth. Yahushua answered, I have told you that I am he.
Nigga, I told you already.
If therefore ye seek me, let these go their way.
Ain't no fear in that right there, man. That's a day of adversity. Did he faint? He said, who you looking for? Yahusha, nigga, that's me. Who you looking for? Nigga, that's me.
That the saying might be fulfilled, which he spake of them which thou gavest me, I lost none.
Is that, did he fall out? Scared for what? My time done came, my nigga, I'm ready. What you niggas gonna do?
Mark.
Like at the end of the day, what you niggas gonna do? That's how you got to be. You got to be the same way. Got to be the same way. So what they come? And what that mean? And that's in any aspect of your life with the word. What you fearful of. What you scared of. Got no business falling out. But hold on. Because I got so much, y'all knows it's carrying in the next week. That's guaranteed. That is guaranteed. I want you to come over here to Isaiah chapter 28. You pick it up about verse 9. Remember. Yes, go see the man whose testicles you emanated from. Isaiah 28 and 9. 28 and 9. Mark walking around looking like so I'm just appalled. I can't believe what I just saw. That's how he walking. I can't believe this. They done killed Ricky. Because I definitely can't read that, so. What's they gonna hold up? We waiting on you, man. Got the train in the station. Isaiah 28 9.
It said, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast.
Yep.
For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little.
Yep.
For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people.
Yep.
To whom he said, this is the rest whereby ye may cause the weary to rest.
Hold on, this is what? Cause the weary to do what?
We cause the weary to rest.
Cause the weary to do what?
To rest.
To get a little bit of rest.
And this is the refreshing.
This is the what?
The refreshing.
Pause. Refreshing. What y'all think that mean? It kind of tells you in the verse, but. No, I don't mean renewed. Means rest. Literally means rest or a place of rest. Now notice he said that he would do what for the weary? Give him a little rest. So the word is, excuse me, Magar. You got a meme, a rosh, a gamal, a ayin, and a hay. And you know, I'll give you some time. A meme, a rosh, a gamal, a ayin, and a hay. That is a meme, a rosh, a gamal, a ayin, and a hay. Ayin and a hay. A meme, a rosh, a gamal, a ayin, and a hay. Refresh. And I'm also gonna tell you that this same word. Go ahead and get me Exodus 31 and 17. I would read it, but I can't. Exodus 31 and 17. Make it 12.
It said, Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak thou also unto the children of Yasharal, saying, Verily my Shabbats ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that ye may know that I am Yahuwah that does sanctify you. Ye shall keep the Sabbath therefore, for it is Kadash unto you. Everyone that defileth it shall surely be put to death. For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people.
Let me know when you get to verse 17. I'm gonna know it when I
It
hear
say,
it.
6 days may thy work be done, but the seventh is the Shabbat of rest, holy unto Yahuwah. Whosoever does any work in the Shabbat, he shall surely be put to death. Wherefore the children of Yasharal shall keep the Sabbath to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant. 17. It is a sign between me and the children of Yasharal forever. For on the 6th day Yahuwah made Shamahim and earth, and on the 7th day he rested and was refreshed.
He was what?
Refreshed.
That same word for refresh is that same word in Isaiah 28, or a place of rest, or a place to rest. Same word. And it's the same word in Exodus 23 and 12. You can read it for him. We already over there.
What's that?
Exodus 23 and 12.
It say, and Yahuwah said unto Moses, Come up unto me to the mountain and be there, and I will give thee tables of stone and a law and commandments which I have written, that thou mayest teach them. And Moses rose up, and his minister Joshua, or Yahusha, and Moses went up to the mount of Elohim. And he said unto him, to the elders, Tarry ye here for us.
Don't worry about it, 'cause I think I wrote that down incorrectly. I don't think I see refresh nowhere on that. Lisa, you still in verse what?
Verse what?
You still in verse what? Yeah, don't matter. It don't make no difference. But that verse 17 and Exodus 31, same word in Isaiah 28. Anybody got anything for that? For that meme, that Rosh, that Gamal, that Ayin, and that Hey? What you got for me, sir?
To behold the experience of the chief, to so you may gather to the blood and all signifying blood, which is like covenant. Shabbat is a covenant, it's a song. Blood is a song.
Word. Anybody else?
Yeah, I had the blood will gather you to the head to experience greatness.
All right. Anybody else?
I say the word of the highest will, okay, the word of the highest will carry you so that he can reveal life, or reveal his covenant to you.
Alicia, you got something back there? You got something back there, Shayla? Do you got something? What about you, Alicia? We ain't heard from you all day. You got something back there? You ain't got nothing? Well, let's take it one by one. When you're gonna take that meme, what would you say? Blood? I can accept that. It's either gonna be blood or water, it's gonna be one or two. But when you come with that Rosh, what would you say? Because the blood or the water gonna get you the same thing. You say the highest?
No, I say the highest.
When you get to Gamal, what would you say? Because you got
lift to carry.
Because you got live, carry, you got your messenger, and you got your walk. What else you got? Pride. Well, we know ain't gonna be no pride.
No, that's why I say lift to carry.
You say the lift and the carry. So when you can say, you can sit back and say how the highest lift and carry the blood of what? So you can know the man with raised arms. Because what did we read earlier in John 3? He said, when the Son of Man be what? And when he was lifted up in Shamahim, what did he have to go in the temple and present? He got to bring his blood. No, when he went into that tabernacle in that inner sanctum to make intercession on your behalf, what the high priest got to bring in there? He got to bring his blood for himself and then for the sins of the people. He did that once, but just with his own body. Him basically stepping in there doing that. But you see, that's a place of rest. So remember, we talking about not being weary and well-doing. We already read how he had to die, right? He sung a hymn because he was happy, he was joyful about it. He did good works with joy. He didn't cause himself to fall out. When he was on the stake, what was his last words? So, and what does it say in Genesis chapter 2? What his father said? It's done, it's finished. You know what I'm saying? My work is finished. So therefore, I never fainted or got weak or fell out or got offended because I did what was right. I could care less. Like, we already looked at it. These people tempting him to go against the word. See, that's the part I be telling y'all, like, he teaching the word. They're trying to tempt him to speak against it. Not even in saying of doing something against it, speaking against it. Because let me ask y'all a question. If I can get you to speak against the word, don't you think I can get you to go against it too? If I can get you to speak against what you believe in, I guarantee you I can get you to go against it. Literally with your actions. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, these are people who say they believe the word. But this is one of the reasons why he told us to be careful with our dealings with the nations, because he knew that you were going to be enticed by what they were doing. Now, what we were listening to the lady talk about earlier, I told you before, people who get in the word, they make it act like all you just got to do is sit down and you can't do absolutely nothing. And that's not the case. You can do a lot. But at the same token, you can't let what you want to do interfere with this over here, though. That's what you can't do. Now, everybody can't take that same stroll and that same journey down that road, but you got to also realize you might not get that same reward, too. Because that man suffered to enter into his esteem, and you have to be willing to suffer with him if you want to actually reign with him. You can't say, I'm going to live my life and not go through nothing he went through or experience nothing he experienced, and then expect to get the same thing from him that he got. That's just not right. That's not just judgment. That's not a fair balance or a weight, because you asking the benefit of a sacrifice that you're not willing to make. You asking for the benefit of a suffering that you weren't willing to take, but you want the same reward. Does that sound about right to any of y'all to get the same thing for doing less? No, that's not just. Anybody who's going to be saved going to have to take some manner of tribulation or persecution to a certain extent. It may not be as extreme as others, but you're going to have to take it to a certain extent. And you have to be willing to do it. And do it with joy and not fall out. Most people fall out. You got people falling out because they can't see their family on Christmas. This is what you falling out about? So what would you do if somebody actually came and wanted to kill you for what you stood for? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's 364 days in a year. You can see your people anytime. Don't let the government dictate when you see your family. And I felt like that before I knew anything about the word. It always disgusted me when I heard people say that. This is a day for family. Don't let nobody dictate when you see your people. If your people really, and I understand people got to work, but people plan stuff in advance all the time who don't have a lot of money, who see their people regularly and they all get together. So, if, say people who live out of town. You know what I'm saying? You can't never compromise your, and I'm just using that because that's an extreme account, and plus because it just passed. You know what I'm saying? But you can't never compromise your ideals for anyone. It doesn't matter if it's a word or not, because at that point, you're no longer a man, you're no longer a woman, and you're no longer honorable because you compromised your word to please people. You compromise your ideals to please people. And like, how do you feel on the inside after you've done that, after you've compromised who you profess that you are? How can you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand how niggas be in the street and snitch. Like, how you live with yourself? Because you went against who you say you are. Yeah, that's your fault.
Yeah, yours on the chart.
Yeah, it's got to be on the charts. You know how much juice this thing take while it's streaming? Shoot. That's why I do that. So what just happened to you won't happen to me. You know what I'm talking about? I come prepared. Shit. YouTube will suck you down on a good stream. Pause. Good stream. But no, just being serious though. Come on back to Hebrews 4 and 7. Matter of fact, make it Romans 6 and 2. And I'm just mentioning that because you got to be willing to die with it. Like, you got to, because that's what that rest is about. Because remember, he said on the 7th day, he was what? He was what? Refreshed, right?
Rested and was refreshed.
He saw rest was good. He said it was good for me to die. So when we see not being weary and well-doing, that well-doing is doing the work, which is what I mentioned was that asad, that doing well, or your work, or your act, which is a ayin, a shan, and a hay. And in that one, that was just to know the pairing to the man with raised arms. When you do the work, you actually are joined to the man who sacrificed himself. That's why you'll do well. Because to do well, you'll be what? What did it say in the law? If you do well, what's going to happen? You're going to be accepted. So if you're willing to sacrifice and suffer, he will accept you. You know what I'm saying? And when we talk about suffering, not suffering in the aspect of how he suffered, but suffering in the flesh that ceased from sin, meaning denying yourself. Denying the instant gratification of the flesh and remaining obedient to the word and doing what y'all want and not what you want. That's enduring. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to say, you know what? He'll forgive me for it later. It's not how this works. It's not how any of this works. It's not how it goes. You know what I'm saying? You have to persevere. You have to persevere. You have to endure. I'm telling you, endurance builds a level of fortitude and strength in an individual. If you find a lot of people that you find and you say, you know, that's a strong person, and you'll see they have a high level of perseverance of the things and obstacles that they've experienced in life and overcame. Whether they were outside of their control or of their own doings. Because that's where strength comes from. It comes from perseverance. Good day to you, ma'am. Good day. Good day, ma'am. Good day. I don't know what that means. Oh, that's what that means. My apologies. You're not pooping over here, are you? You're not. I don't think I'd like for you to put that there. Thank you. Where you at? Romans 6 and 2, that's where you at. Bye-bye.
It says, Elohim forbid, how shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein? Know you not that so many of us were baptized into Yahushua Mashiach, were baptized into his death.
Baptized into his what?
His death.
Into his what?
His death.
Everybody in this room been baptized, right? So that means you were baptized into his death. Understand and know what that means. So if you died with him, go ahead.
Therefore we are buried with him by baptism unto death, that like as the Mashiach was raised up from the dead by the esteem of the Father, even so we also should walk in newness of life.
Can't be the same person.
For if we have been planted together in the likeness of his death, we shall also in the likeness of his resurrection.
Go ahead.
Knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin.
That you should, hold on. So if you died with him, what got destroyed?
Your body of sin.
So there ain't no more sin, ain't no more self-indulgence. It's no more, you lost your life to gain it. You didn't keep your life. And that's the parallel you got to walk. Is it about you and your life? Or is it about living for Elohim? Because if it's about you and your life, you're not going to enter this kingdom. That's not going to happen. And that's the balance that everybody have to walk. Because at the end of the day, it's going to come down to what's more important. His will or yours? His will or yours? Go ahead. Hey, sugar baby. Hey, little sugar baby.
It said, knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin. For he that is dead is free from sin. Now, if we be dead with the Mashiach, we believe that we shall also live with him.
Let me ask y'all a question. Him being killed, was that chastisement or not? Was that chastisement? Yes, it was. What does it say in Isaiah 53 about chastisement? The chastisement of our shalom was upon him, right? I did that to segue us back to Deuteronomy 8, what we asked for earlier that we ain't got to. Deuteronomy 8 and 1, and then Hebrews chapter 12. The issue that I said we would discuss this week, I'm gonna have to wait because a couple people ain't here, and I would rather them be here than them not be here. I would prefer it, you know what I'm saying?
I prefer you have your voice too.
Yeah, that would help as well.
It say, all the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do, that ye may live and multiply and go and possess the land which Yahuwah sware unto your fathers. And thou shalt remember all the way which Yahuwah thy Elohim led thee these 40 years in the wilderness to humble thee and to prove thee and to know what was in thine heart.
Hold on, so he can know what?
What was in thine
So
heart,
keep going.
whether thou would keep his commands or no.
Will you do what I say or not?
And he humbled thee, and he suffered thee to hunger, and he fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee known that man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of Yahuwah.
Because we want to get to verse
Does
5.
man live?
Come on with it.
Thy raiment waxed not old upon thee, neither did thy foot swell these 40 years. Thou shalt also consider in thy heart.
Hold on, you should do what?
Consider in thy heart.
What should you consider?
That as a man chastens his son, so Yah thy Elohim chastens thee.
So as Yah chastens, a man chastens his son, Yah gonna chasten you. Before we get to that Hebrews that I mentioned, take me to Job chapter 5, right?
I'll take it.
Don't take me there. Pause now. I don't want you to take me there.
I'll get you.
Shoot, pause on that. I'm good on that too. Good on that too.
Joel 5.
Job 5 and about verse 14, I want to say.
It says, they meet with darkness in the daytime and grope in noonday as in the night. But he saveth the poor from the sword, from their mouth, and from the hand of the mighty. So the poor hath hope, and iniquity stoppeth their mouth.
Behold,
Behold, happy is the man whom Elohim corrected. Therefore despise not the chastening of the Almighty.
pause. He say despise not the what?
Chastening.
He say who Elohim what?
Chastening.
No, he say happy is the man. So what does that mean? You blessed. If that man correct you or hold you accountable, you blessed. See, people don't realize that. He blessed. That's what it say. That's a blessing. Now hold on. Let's go to Hebrew 12 and verse 5. I still got to get back to the refreshing in Isaiah 28 because I got a couple more things. What time is it? Oh, I got a little bit of time. I got time.
12 and 11, bro.
12 and 5.
It says, and ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as children. My son, despise not the chastening of Yahuwah, neither be faint when thou art rebuked.
Hold on, neither do what?
Be faint.
So guess what? He said, be not weary in well doing, that you don't what? That you don't faint. Listen what he finna tell him.
For whom Yahuwah loveth he chasten, and scourges every son he received.
Go ahead.
If ye endure chastening.
If you endure what?
Chastening.
If you endure what?
Chastening.
So if you're able to take that correction or that challenge or that rebuke, what's gonna happen?
Elohim deal with you as a son.
He gonna deal with you as a what?
A son.
He gonna deal with you as a what?
A son.
That means you gonna live forever. Come on.
For what son is he whom the Father chastens not?
You can't say you are your father and you hate his chastening and you can't endure the correction or the tribulation because the correction and the tribulation was for what? Your obedience. You were supposed to learn how to obey from what you suffered. See, a lot of people take that as, take your kid and beat the brakes off of them. You know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily got to physically strike them to rebuke them, it's to correct them. That goes into what I mentioned, right? If somebody challenges you, they're challenging you to do better than what you're doing. Which means that means they're trying to challenge you to correct something that you're doing that is not allowing you to operate at your optimum level. People hear that, take it personally. Their feelings get hurt. Instead of looking at somebody saying, can you rise to the occasion? Let me ask y'all a question. If somebody challenged you, does that mean that they see greatness in you? How many people you ever seen challenge somebody they didn't believe could do something? You know what I'm saying? Like, who challenges somebody who they feel like is insufficient or mediocre? Nobody does that. People only challenge people who they know can do better than what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? But we don't look at it that way when we get it because you get in your feelings. Oh, they picking on me. And really that's your reflex of not arising to the challenge to meet whatever benchmark that this person has challenged you to meet. You know what I'm saying? You don't really want to buckle down and do what's necessary to reach your full level of ability that this person sees in you. And it's maybe because you don't see it in yourself. Maybe you just ain't willing to do the work. Maybe you don't believe you can do it. You know what I'm saying? But you can't think that way. How many of y'all ever had somebody tell you you couldn't do something? That you couldn't do something, that you did not have the ability to accomplish a task. How did you feel when that person said that? That's how you should take it. Somebody tell you you can't do something and you can be like, you know what, nigga, I'ma show you. I'ma show you. You shouldn't look at it and take it in, oh, I can't do it. Well, phone died. Oh, I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's between you and him. But that's how you should take it. You should be offended that somebody told you you couldn't do something. Because, nigga, who you is to tell me what I can and can't do? And you should show them. You know what I'm talking about? And not necessarily get it, like, nigga, I did it, nigga. But just let them know. You said I couldn't do it. I'm going to show you what I can't do. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes be yourself telling you.
Well, then you need to tell yourself, shut up, nigga, you can do it. Straight up. Straight up, nigga. Shut your mouth and sit down and get out this car. Talking crazy in here. For real though. For real though. Because I was finna mention that sometimes it be you telling you can't do it. But guess what? You telling yourself you can't do it came from an external force long before you got to that point. That seed was already planted. Somebody had already told you what you could and couldn't do. Somebody had already made you feel like you didn't have the ability to achieve. And you believed it. Now you got to get to the point of, why do you still believe that? And to use that negativity as fuel to achieve. See, everybody don't do that. That's what Michael Jordan did. Michael Jordan looked for somebody to slight him and underestimate him and doubt him as motivation to prove them wrong. Some people do that. Some people don't need to do that. You know what I'm saying? But that's how some people move. You tell me I can't do something, I'm gonna show you what I can't do, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be highly offended that somebody tell you you can't do something. How many times I done told you if a nigga say, oh, you can never stop sinning? Speak for yourself, nigga. I'm offended because you telling me what I can't do. You can't do it. And I'm not gonna allow you to project what you can't do onto me. You can't. You speaking from your own fear and your own insecurity and your own lack of confidence in yourself. And I will not allow you to put that on me. I won't allow it. That's how you got to think. What did they call him, Masha? They called him a devil, a deceiver. Now imagine if he let them people, what they projected on him, affect what he had to go do. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't even completed the task. He wouldn't even completed the task. You can't allow people to dictate your thoughts. You can't allow people to dictate the confidence you have in your own ability. Can't allow people to do that. You can't give them that much power. You got to take that power back. Can't let them have it. I don't care who it is. Spouse, family, friends, acquaintances, co-workers, you know what I'm saying? Other business people. You can't allow no one to have that much power and space in your mind. Can't let them have it. You know what I'm saying? You got to take that back. You can do anything you want to do. You put your mind to it and you're willing to do the work and make the sacrifices necessary to achieve it. It might take a little minute. You know what I'm saying? But you can do it. Gotta stop being scared. Like I told you last night, what do you have to lose? If you fail, so what? All you know is what not to do next time. You know what to do better. That's all the thing you're gonna learn from making a mistake or failing. You learn what doesn't work. So then you figure out what works. Guess what y'all did? Adam didn't work. Let me give you something that worked. Let me give you something that worked. Can't think that way. If you lose, you lose. So what? But guess what happens if you win, though? Everything you had in your mind that you was gonna get from that W, you got it. So go for the W. Screw the L. You can't go in a situation. What if we lose? Because you lost already. You lost already. You already lost before you started. That's what Mike Tyson used to do back in the day, didn't it? That's what he used to do.
He skipped back in the day.
Shoot, I ain't never get up like, they gonna catch me selling rocks today. Boy, I'm out here. You understand? I'm out here.
I ain't never been that type of nigga either.
I'm out here. You know what I mean? Sure, get this money today.
Hey,
You know what I mean? Go get this money today, baby. I gotta eat. Mom dues, rent due. You feel me? That's how you gotta see it. But I understand where people get that from. You may have not had it fostered. You might have had a lot of negativity. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, you may have never tried anything. So you have doubt in your ability. Don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt yourself. You're capable of doing anything. This thing in here, in between our ears, is very, very powerful. It's very, very powerful. And your actions are dictated by what you think. If you fill your mind with nonsense, that's what you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? If you fill your mind with the things that are pertaining to what you want to do, and you consistently do it, then you'll get there. It's gonna take some time though. It's gonna be some pain. It's gonna be some struggle. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be some sacrifice, but if you stick to it, you'll reap it. That's why he's telling you, you'll reap if you don't faint. Because a lot of people don't want to do that work. That work of salvation is some work now. Everybody don't want to do it. But let's look at something if you're a little faint. What we got? Isaiah 28 again? Because I'm good in wherever we was at. Where we was at? Job 5, oh, Hebrew 12. Yeah, we good in. We'll keep on going to Hebrew 12. Read that verse again. No, I just want to read it again. Just read it again. Dang, man. The little cover gone. This joint be sliding and slipping.
Hebrew slide slip some of that charger do so good.
Shoot, but ask somebody to help you out. We still got about 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the closest man to him.
that boy, yeah.
Hard as concrete, ain't it?
Love to receive, hate to give.
Ooh, now, let me see where that juice at. Let me see where that juice at. You trying to deprive the people.
Hey,
Now you want to talk. You didn't want to talk the first time. You didn't want to talk the first time.
all right, let me run this Hebrew one more again.
You're in Hebrew 12 and what? 7.
6. It says, for who loveth he chasteneth, and he scourges every son he receive. If ye endure chastening, Elohim deal with you as a son. For what son is whom the father chastens not?
Yes, sir.
But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then
You
ye
are what?
Bastards and not sons.
He's not going to accept you, so you got to be able to endure that suffering. Because his chastisement was his suffering. Let's go back to Isaiah 28 and 12. There's other words for faint I ain't even get to, but most high willing we'll get to them. So what did I have in Isaiah 28 and 12? Okay, we was looking at the word for faint. And the word is ayaf, a ayin, a pay, and a hey. So go ahead, do what you gotta do, be who you gotta be. Looking at that, she's a wall hugger. The girl over there, she's a wall hugger. Darius, I didn't know you married a wall hugger. She's a wall hugger. She over there hugging that wall.
He said, I'll be a wall.
She hugging that wall. That's what that commercial said. For people who always charging their phone, call them a wall hugger. So you got an ayin, a pay, and a hey. What would y'all come up with? I got a little something different, probably than what y'all gonna come up with.
What word is for?
It's fire
Faith.
for faint in Isaiah 28:12. Say, Mama, I gotta pay.
Experience the breath of life.
Experience the breath of life. Anybody else? Little Stanley.
Well, it's for what?
Faint.
Faint.
What about you, Leisha? You got something back there? Back there picking boogers.
Definitely in your nose. We ain't gonna tell nobody though.
Little boogie.
You called. You called. It was in your nose.
Hey, little boogie. She said she ain't got no boogers in there, no dry mucus. She said we're itching. I had to scratch it. You don't say.
You experience the breath of the word.
Experience the breath of the word. Anybody else? Going once? Going twice? So, I got on this one here is to look and to know or experience the praise of Elohim. Does anybody know the word praise and what it means?
It's your God. Y'all.
It's Yadah. Does anybody know what it means?
The word.
That's one of it, but it means to give thanks, but it also means to confess the name of Elohim.
Fair.
To confess his name. What in John 17, what did the Mashiach say he did?
John 1.
John 17. He said he manifested his Father's name to his disciples. Ain't that what he said? We had already read that in Hebrews 2, that he said, I declared your name. Get John 17 in 5 for him. I got one more thing.
Yeah, I thought.
That's the
Judah
root for
mean-
Judah. Y'all.
Yeah.
Like that's the root for Yehuda.
Definitely does mean praise.
That's the only reason I knew it. 17.
And 5. So when you praise him to a certain extent, you confessing his name. And that goes back to why we read Psalms 150. And when he was getting ready to die, what did he do? He sung a hymn. So he was confessing the name of Yahuwah, which is why that Hebrews 2 say, I confessed your name amongst my brethren. He was telling him, if you endure this, what he gonna do for you? Go ahead, man.
It says, and now, O Abba, esteem me with thy own self, with the esteem which I had with thee before the world was. I manifest my name unto the man which thou gavest me out of the
He didn't
world.
say he manifested his name.
He said, I manifested thy name
There you go.
unto the man which thou gavest me out of the world. Thine they were, and thou givest them me, and they have kept my word.
Kept his word, his father's word, right? Now come on back, right? Come on back to Jeremiah 20 and verse 11. And after that, we're going to go to Jeremiah 31. So when you praising Yah, you doing what? You confessing his name. So why you think he said to give thanks to Elohim in the name of Yahushua? Because that is his what? That's his praise. And therefore you would be confessing the name of Yahuwah. Because at the end of the day, all Yahushua did was come and manifest the name of Yahuwah. That's all he came and did. See, a lot of people look at his name as Yahuwah. They miss the whole point of what he was coming to do. It's not Jehovah, it's not Jesus, all that. They stuck on stupidity and gonna be stuck outside the gate. There's only one place you want to be stuck outside the gate, and that's the jailhouse or the prison. Anywhere else, you don't want to be stuck outside the gate. Come on with it, man. Give me Jeremiah 20 and 11.
It says, but Yahuwah is with me as a mighty terrible one. Therefore my persecutors shall stumble, and they shall not prevail. They shall be greatly ashamed, for they shall not prosper. Their everlasting confusion shall never be forgotten.
Pause. When we read John 18, when Yahushua persecutors came, what happened? When Judas them came and asked him who he was, and he said who he was, what happened?
The rest of them back to
They stumbled
They said they stepped back.
and fell.
That's what it said.
You don't think Yahusha knew that? You don't think if you in the word and somebody do that to you that that's not going to happen to them? Come on with it, man.
It say, but O Yahuwah of hosts that tries the righteous and seeth the reins of the heart, let me see thy vengeance on them, for unto thee have I opened my cause.
Who did Yahusha open his cause to? Is he going to see vengeance on his enemies? Absolutely. He going to be the one working it, so you know he going to see it. Come on with it. Verse 13 is
It
sufficient.
say, sing unto Yahuwah, praise ye Yahuwah, for he hath delivered the soul of the poor from the hand of evildoers.
So guess what? When you die with him in baptism, he said you ought to praise Yahuwah because he going to deliver your soul from evildoers. Didn't Yahusha tell you that one hair from your head ain't going to fall? And that you ain't got no business fearing what man can do to you. What can man do to you? He can't do nothing. Jeremiah 31. We got so much we gonna take this in the next week, most high willing. Take this in the next week. Be exhaustive with it, if you will. Jeremiah 31. Pick it up at verse 21.
It says, set thee up waymarks, make thy high heats, set thy heart towards the highway, even the way which thou wentest turn again, O Virgin of Yasharal, turn again to these cities. How long wilt thou go about? How thou backsliding, O thou backsliding daughter, for Yahuwah have created a new thing in the earth, a woman shall compass a man.
Who know what that mean? Does that mean a woman gonna be telling a man what to do? Who know what that mean? It's a lot of women in the word who be throwing that out there. See, a woman gonna compass a man. So a woman can teach her, do this or do that, but who knows what that means?
I know we did this lesson.
Now in the congregation surround him on the street.
Yeah, the woman is Yasharal. They compassed the man and they killed him. And they killed him. And they killed him.
That was a new thing on the earth.
That was definitely a new thing. When you ever seen that in the earth? A woman compass a man. When he just said, how long will you go about, oh backsliding daughter? So I need to create a new thing in the earth. I need to do something different. Because clearly what we got going on ain't cutting it. Keep on rolling, man.
Thus said Yahuwah of hosts, Elohim of Yasharal, as yet they shall use this speech in the land of Yehuda and in the cities thereof, when I shall bring again their captivity. Yahuwah Baruch thee, O habitation of justice and mountain of Kadashni.
Pause. Now we're going to take this twofold. I'll give you something extra with it. Then he said that's what they're going to say in the land of Yehuda when he bring back the captivity. So how is this a woman compassing a man in another fashion?
We're gonna come back when he reigning in Jerusalem.
But how is that a woman compassing the man in another fashion?
Verse 2.
Because the woman, I'm thinking the woman's still Yasharal.
No, in this instance, the woman is who? That great whore. That great whore. Would she not be compassing about a man because she would be the one who had to bold up these armies to fight against this man, like it said in Revelation 17? Woman gonna compass a man again, but he say, boom, I'm gonna turn your captivity in the midst of that right after that happens. So I'm gonna do a new thing in the earth. And a woman is gonna encompass a man as forth and bring in battle again. And I'm gonna crack this whole skull wide open. That's the only time it's acceptable to hit a woman, when he hit that whore of Babylon. Got to knock that whore out. She out here killing all the saints and all the prophets. Ain't that what it say? And it's a lot on that. It's a part of Jeremiah 51 where he tell you not to faint. When you finna see what's going to happen to Babylon. Tell you don't fall out. You know what they say, Babylon, that's America. You wait on it. America ain't nobody. She just an old offshoot slut from her mama. That's all she is. Just a young whore. Ain't nothing worse than seeing a woman who raised a bunch of young whores. And that's what Babylon did. Huh? Her mother be what?
Red.
No, no, she's just an offshoot of a stinking mama. She's an offspring. Oh, sure. That's just an ugly thing. You know, Babylon.
I feel like independence, like, yeah, they get this.
Oh, you said Brit.
Yeah.
I don't know what you said. I'm like, what is this talking about? Oh, no, Britain could be, you could be considered shoot. That's one of her churn. She got some of her aspects.
Yeah, that's what they're talking
Oh, no. Babylon is Babylon. You know what I mean? Babylon is Babylon. But she got a lot of daughters. She all over the place. Hoeing, working fornication all in the earth. Many whoredoms, defiling many. Come on, man. Give me verse 24, man. Yeah, Mara won't let you live, huh?
And there shall dwell in Yehuda itself, and in all the cities thereof together husbandmen, and they that go forth with flocks.
Listen what he said. He said, for I have
Satiated the weary soul,
and I've replenished.
every sorrowful soul.
Come on with it.
Upon this I awakened and beheld, and my sleep was sweet unto me.
Hold on. He said when he awaked, he beheld, and his sleep was what?
It was sweet unto me.
I'll get to that in a minute. Satiated. Y'all know what that means, right? In English. Y'all know what that means to be satiated?
That's to be filled.
That's to be filled. Well, the word in Hebrew is ra'ava. A rasha u'anahe. It means to cause to drink or have one to drink. So I give you a moment.
That's to be refreshed.
Refresh. You like a little beverage, cold beverage. I like a little cold beverage. You like cold beverages and you like room temperature. You like hot beverages? Ain't nobody scared of you. Trying to look hard. That only work on Eugene. You like cold beverages? You like lukewarm beverages? Like hot beverages? You don't like hot tea? Hot chocolate? Got a Rosh and a hay. So, what you come up with that?
A lot of haze today.
A lot of hay. Hey, how you doing? That's what I'm doing. He wants you to know. He waving at you. He wants you to know how you doing. Say you appreciate your time and your effort.
Get a drink, huh?
Get you a drink. You thirsty, ain't you? Shoot, come on and get you something to drink, nigga. A lot of niggas don't want nothing to drink. I got one more word we gonna do, then we gonna slide. Matter of fact, while y'all figuring that out, y'all working on that? Raj, hey, what you got for me? Say the thoughts joined together with the man with raised arms.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say the man that raised arms will join you to the highest.
Join you to the eyes, no doubt. Anybody else?
That's what I was feeling.
And that's what I would take. Now, while you thinking on that, when you thinking on that, I want you to come over here to Job 23 and 14. Make it Job 23 and 12.
Happy to accept that.
I accept it. Shoot, we drank some tea last night. What that did? When your boy's leaving, he leaving.
You didn't drink no therapy.
What the Theraflu gonna do for vocal cords?
You're gonna get some of that phlegm off.
Ain't no phlegm on them. Shoot, nigga, they just gone.
Something on them if it ain't working.
No, ain't nothing got to be on vocal cords for them to be gone. You done strained them. You done stressed them.
It's your tonsils, bro.
No, tonsils is different from your vocal cords. Tonsils is just right here. They really don't even serve no purpose.
That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, those are tonsils are glands. That's my vocal
I
cords.
was saying your glands.
Yeah, but your glands don't have nothing to do with your vocal cords. Jesus, man.
Clear your glands.
Shoot. Well, you figures it all out those. You didn't even care she was leaving. You just wanted to believe you cared. Come on with it, man. Job 23 and 12.
It says, neither have I gone back from the commandment of his lips. I have esteemed the words of his mouth more than my necessary food.
Yes, sir.
But he is in one mind, and who can turn him?
Who can turn him? If
And
he
what
done-
his soul desired, even that he do it.
Pause. He said he had one what? One mind, right?
One mind.
What did Yahushua say in John 17? What did he say in John chapter 10? I and my Father are one. What was the Father's mind to do with Yahushua? What was his mind to do? To kill him. What was Yahushua's mind to do? To die. Who could turn him? When Peter tried to turn him, what did he tell Peter?
Get behind me.
I rebuke you, Satan. Get behind me. Thou art an offense to me. You can't turn us for what we came to do. And that's what you got to look at when you enduring. You're supposed to be one mind with a Mashiach. This means you one mind with Abba. Nobody should be able to turn you from what you set out to do because you esteem his word more than your necessary food. That's how you be able to endure. We already read that in Deuteronomy chapter 8, right? Man don't live by bread alone, but what? Every word that proceed out the mouth of Elohim, the man live. So you ain't going to be able to live when you worry about what you want. What about Mama need a life too, Jody. That's how you go to hell. That's how you go to hell. Straight up and down.
I ain't gonna say it.
Straight up and down. That's how you go to hell. You know what I'm saying? Cause you looking at, you want his life and your life. And you gotta want his life. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Wanting his life won't preclude you from experiencing life and doing certain things. It's just that you know that you won't put those things before him. That's it. That stuff ain't gonna come before him. Your will ain't gonna come before his. That's it. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. It's no deeper than that. His will is always gonna trump yours. That's it. Come on with it, man.
It's my time. For he performed the thing that is appointed for me, and many such things are with him.
He said he did what?
He appointed. He said he performed the thing that is appointed for
He
me.
said my time is at hand, didn't he? He done perform. And he also said I was upon my bed and my dream was sweet when I beheld it. Because now I don't want you to show me what you were going to do for me. He said, rest for a little season. I'm going to give you a white robe. Come on with it, man.
It says, therefore I am troubled at his presence. When I consider, I am afraid of him. While he maketh my heart soft, and the Almighty troubleth me. Because I was not cut off before the darkness, neither have he covered the darkness from my face.
What verse you in?
I'm at the end.
That's verse, you read verse 16?
For Elohim maketh my heart soft, and the Almighty troubleth me.
That word for soft is also a word for faint. And it's rakak, and then the shortened version is rock. And I didn't get to 2 Samuel 3 like I wanted to, but we'll get to it later. But it means to be soft, it means to be weak, it means to be timid, and it means to be fearful. That's why I read that 2 Timothy chapter 1 earlier. Because he said, now my heart is fearful, I'm weary. Now Rosh, Kaf, and Kaf, you know what I'm saying? Sound like a Japanese man. What would you do for that?
That's soft.
Pause. I don't know nothing about nothing that's soft.
See, that wasn't even no pause moment.
Yeah, well,
Rosh Kaf. Everybody gotta be soft from time to time.
I don't know nothing about none of that.
Can't be hard all the time. That you
In your youth, you were hoe, so you niggas young. Shoot. Get old, it might be a little different. You're young, but you better. You got problems, might want to see the cardiologist.
Rosh Kaf.
To be weak,
Soft.
to be soft, to be fearful, and to be timid. You know what it is to be timid, right? Be a little shy.
A little shy, a little bashful. A little timid. A little Timmy.
Little tiny Tim. And Merry Christmas to everyone. That's what he said at the end of that movie.
That was your favorite when you were little.
I hated that doggone movie, man. Shoot, bet you lied.
Quoting lines like you love it.
Shoot, that's the only line a nigga know.
I don't even know what that is. Shoot, you got me beat.
I forgot which one it is. It's one of the movies they play every Christmas. They may not play it as much now, but they definitely did back then. And, you know, we ain't had no cable, so you was stuck with it because my people definitely wanted to watch it. Yeah, I don't know where that comes from.
Look like you enjoyed that
Shoot
too.
your eye out. You never shoot your eye.
Nah, pause. I don't know nothing about
Pause.
shooting the
That's
eye
big
out. I don't know nothing about that. But,
They say the chief will allow you to be filled.
Chief allow you to be filled. I know they used to play Miracle on 34th Street, you know, A Christmas Carol, whatever movie Tiny Tim is, whatever movie that is. Tiny Tim. I think that's with Scrooge. What Tiny Tim, whatever movie that is. A Wonderful Life, they used to play all that crap.
That boy remember too.
I mean, I'm old enough to remember that stuff they played, man. They play the same movies every year. Yeah, they play the same movies every year. Now you got options. You ain't got to be stuck with that crap. You ain't got no cable. And your mama remember it from her childhood. Guess what you stuck with? Mm-hmm. A Christmas Carol, A Wonderful Life. You just go in your room, play with your toys because you're pissed off. Till Nintendo came out. Then shoot, mama, you do what you want to. Unless the Nintendo was hooked up to the TV in the front, then you're extra pissed.
To be subdued by the work of the highest.
To be subdued by the work of the highest. Anybody else? All those are acceptable. I came with something a little different. And Revelation chapter 3 gonna tell you what it is. Come on with it. Yeah, let me make sure I got you in the right place. Revelation 3 ain't what I wanted. Dang, it's just, I know where it is. I know what I want, but I can't remember where it's at. Oh, that really sucks. It's escaping my brain at this particular time. Okay, Revelation 2 and 1. That's what I want. Revelation 2 and 1. So we can get on up out of here, man.
It said, unto the Malachi of the church of Ephesus, write these things, said he that hold the 7 stars in his right hand, who walking in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks. I know thy works and thy labor and thy patience, and how thou canst not bear them which are evil. And thou hast tried them which say they are apostles and are not, and hast found them liars.
Found them what?
Found them liars.
Lying bastards.
And has bore and has patience, and for my name's sake have labored and have not fainted.
So hold on. You did the work and you didn't what?
You did not.
So hold on,
faint.
right? So hold on. He said he knew your works, your labor, your patience. How you can't take them that are evil, and he said you bore or you bared that affliction, and you kept your patience for his name's sake and did the work and didn't fall out. You didn't get soft or timid or weak-hearted, because what I came with that was to be filled with the first works. Be filled with, because look at what he about to tell you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee, because thou hast left thy first love.
And that goes back to what I keep telling you about. You got to keep his will before yours. Because when that don't happen and you don't want to keep doing the labor for his name's sake, meaning you getting weary and well doing, you leave your first love. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to leave your first love. You got people who got a hard time doing that in real life, leaving their first love. You supposed to left this nigga 5 years ago. You still here.
Make them soft.
Making him something, pause. But let's leave that nigga where you found him. Come on with it, man.
It says, remember therefore from thence where thou art fallen, and
Repent and do what?
and do the first work.
Do what you did when you started.
Or else I will come unto thee quickly, and I will remove thy candlestick out of his place, except thou repent.
So when your heart gets soft, you need to remember to be filling yourself back up with them first works and to maintain how you started. And to maintain how you started. Now what you came with the Raj, the U and Hey, what it was, to join yourself to what? For the satiated, Raj, U and Hey, what you said again?
Oh, the man will
The man will raise arm, pair you to the highest, or
Yes,
to his
sir.
father. Let's take ourselves to John 7:37 and get ready to call it a day. Because this is how you going to pair yourself with the highest. How is it? This is how Yahushua gonna pair you with his Father. Let's see how.
In the last day, that great day of the feast, Yahushua stood and cried, saying, if any man thirst, let him come to me and drink.
So he gonna satiate the weary, right? So then, cause you weary, he gonna do what? Go ahead.
He that believeth on me, as the scripture said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. But this spake he the Ruach, which they that believe on him should receive, for the Ruach HaKodesh was not yet given, because that Yahushua was not yet esteemed.
So for the Ruach to be given, he had to die. So in the process of him sacrificing himself, he would be able to satiate the weary soul, which is us. Go ahead and finish with Matthew 11 and 28. And all you got to do is do what he tell you right here. That's all you got to do. He get you a little beverage, a little living water. He said the Ruach told you in Revelation, everybody that's thirst, come to the waters and drink. Freely. It's going to cost you a dime. He said, why you? He said, ho, 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 come to the waters and drink. He said, why do you labor for that which is not bread? That's why Mashiach told you, he said, labor not for the meat that perish, but labor for the meat for everlasting life. Stop doing all that work for stuff that's temporary, like we mentioned before, and start doing the work that's necessary to get the things that are forever. And that's where you're messing up at. You're trying to hold on to things that are temporary. You better do the work that's gonna get you everlasting life, and not stuff that can perish and go away. Yahushua didn't do no labor for nothing temporary. Everything he labored for was for eternity. And we ought to follow the same suit. Go ahead, man.
11,
Go ahead.
28.
Yes, sir.
It said, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest.
If you heavy laden, what you about to do? You about to faint. You about to fall out. And what he gonna give you?
He said, he gonna give you rest.
Just like we read in Isaiah 28 and 12, ain't it? Go ahead.
Take my yoke upon you and learn of me.
Why?
For I am meek
And what?
and lowly in heart.
Go
And
ahead.
ye shall find rest for your soul.
Just like we read in Isaiah 28 and 12.
For my yoke is easy and my burden is light.
So hallelujah for Yahushua and the word. We'll stop right there. Appreciate y'all this afternoon. Bless y'all at the house of y'all in the name of Yahushua. Keep that stuff in mind. Y'all willing, we gonna keep on the road of enduring. I appreciate everybody. Most High willing. Pick it up on Wednesday. Cause my voice gone, so I can't keep on talking to you. So y'all willing till the next time.
Next time.